Okay, let's talk about it. What the heck is a spray and what do you do with them? You've likely been reading or researching about hamster care and have come across hamster owners referencing these sprays. So what exactly are these seed sprays? Well, these are natural clusters of seeds still attached to the stem of the plant. They're like tiny edible bouquets of yumminess for your hamster. If you've ever been down the bird section of the pet store, you've likely seen these millet sprays. These are a good example of what exactly a seed spray is. Dried seeds still attached to the dried stalk. Hamsters can enjoy nibbling on these, which can encourage natural foraging, which is a wonderful enrichment for hamsters. So, which seed sprays are safe? There is a huge list of safe sprays you can offer your hamster. This is just a short list of all of the ones I know of. Millets. There are so many types of millets you can offer your hamster, such as pearl millet, yellow millet, silver millet, and panicle millet. And there's probably a couple others I'm missing. There also is oat sprays, wheat sprays, flax, canary, sorghum, barley, quinoa, amaranth, hare's tail, paddy rice, poppy heads, sunflowers, safflowers, pagmia, and delecha. Seed sprays have recently become incredibly popular within the hamster community, and just a few years ago, you probably wouldn't have seen them all too often. How many should I put in my enclosure? Well, there are two ways people like to incorporate sprays into their enclosures. The first reason being for decoration and clutter, and the second reason, of course, being for foraging. It's important to remember that there are many factors that can play into how many sprays someone is going to put into their hamster's enclosure. Does your hamster devour them as soon as you've placed them in the enclosure? Do you have a diabetes-prone hamster? Do you have limited access to what sprays are available to you? Some people have their enclosures full of sprays, where others have less. Both are perfectly acceptable. Despite what some people may say, remember there is no scientific number as to how many sprays you need to have in your enclosure, and sprays are not the only way to provide enrichment and foraging for your hamster. It would be best if you can try to get a variety of different sprays, that way you can see what your hamster likes, but don't worry if you can't get every type out there. How often should I replace or replenish my sprays? This also depends on how fast your hamster eats away at the sprays. For example, my hamster Penny back here will destroy any sort of oat, wheat, millet, sorghum, or flax spray pretty much as soon as I've put them into the enclosure. In this case, because many of these sprays are larger like the sorghum or a larger millet, I'll replenish them less because I don't want him having an abundance of a certain seed in his hoard. But sprays like pagmia and delecha, he doesn't touch at all usually, so when I'm able to get these sprays, I can use them for decoration and clutter. Though these sprays are harder for me to obtain, for example, to get 100 grams of pagmia and 100 grams of delecha, the cheapest place that I could order from still cost me $57. If you own a diabetes-prone hamster, it's also important to be mindful of what sprays you're giving and how often you're giving them. Fattier seeds such as flax may need to be limited or replenished less often. It's also important to keep in mind how many seeds are on some sprays. Hi. For example, flax spray in particular contains about 7 flax seeds per pod, so a big bunch could very easily be hundreds of seeds that your hamster is taking back to their hoard and eating. Now, where can you find sprays? As I mentioned earlier in the video, it might be harder to obtain sprays in certain countries. They are slowly becoming more available to the US and Canada through online shops though. Europe has a plethora of online and even local stores that sell a large variety of sprays, so they're much easier to obtain if you live there. There also is the option to grow your own sprays, though this option might take a little bit more time and patience. You're going to need to grow the seeds all the way to mature and then properly dry them. And in order to get a large quantity, you're going to have quite a bit of room to be able to grow that much. Also, try checking in the bird section of the pet store. There are some sprays that are labeled for birds, but they also are safe for rodent consumption. I will make sure to leave links in the description bar to all of the shops that I know of that sell sprays for hamsters. The ones I currently have here are from Boggles Buddies and Hamsters We Love, which are both UK-based shops. What should you avoid when looking for sprays? It's important to avoid any sprays that are being sold in craft stores or even like home decor stores, because dried sprays are becoming increasingly popular for using as home decor in vases. So these sprays usually are harvested and then they're sprayed with a lacquer to preserve them, and oftentimes they're also even dyed fun colors, so these you want to totally avoid. Always ensure the place that you are getting your sprays from has a natural drying process and that they don't spray anything on them. Usually if you are getting your sprays from a specific pet store, that is your most safe place to get them from. Now let's go ahead and add the sprays into Penny's enclosure so you kind of can see what it looks like before sprays and then after. And that's it. That is exactly what seed sprays are for hamsters. Hopefully this video was able to answer any questions that you had, but if you have any more, please leave them in the comments below and I will try to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in our next one. Bye! Does it sound like you're a wild hamster? Oh my gosh.